A playoff berth will be on the line when USC travels to play Oregon at Autzen. Are the Ducks ready for the challenge? Let's talk about that and more on the Ducks Confidential podcast. I am Aaron Fentress of the Oregonian and OregonLive here with my main man, George Wrighster. Do I have your... See, your cards keep falling, George. George of the Unafraid Show.
You're doing that on purpose.
It's not on purpose. It's like you keep doing some kind of voodoo because you don't want to be up there or something. Anyway, George Wrighster of the Unafraid Show and the CW is with me as always. How you doing, my man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I am excited, bro. I'm excited because there are so many people that are that believe differently than I believe about this one. And USC fans, it's funny because they've been talking all of this ish, man. Oh my God, all the way up to this week, and now they're like, "Hey, it doesn't matter the outcome. We're ahead of schedule right now. We're right where we need to be." I'm like, what happened to all that? We're gonna go to the playoff. We're gonna go 10-2. Where Oregon stinks. Where are all those people at now? Oh man, dude, they've been on my timeline for weeks, and now all of a sudden, crickets. Where are dude? I wish USC fans were as good at engaging as Iowa fans. Iowa fans, honestly, have been the best of this entire season.
All right, we'll get into that. One other thing before we get rolling, as people can see, I got this mini helmet collection that's growing. I've gotten the mini helmet for every team the Ducks have played except for Montana State and Oklahoma State. No offense, they probably won't play them again for a long time. Although they play Oklahoma State next season, so we'll see. But I'm trying to do just conference. And then, look, I know people call me a Duck hater sometime, and that's fine. But one thing I've always appreciated is their uniforms. And so it has so many helmets, you can't just have one. I have two. I just got a new one in the mail. The carbon fiber. This might be my favorite Ducks helmet.
What? Hell no.
Oh, I love this. You don't like this one?
It's okay. It was good at the time. Every time I see that helmet, I think of LaMichael James, who's one of my all-time favorite Ducks. But it doesn't even make the top 5 helmets for me, I don't think.
Okay, but it's in your top 10. I mean, dude, they've had 98, so top 10 is good. I'm going to replace it today.
My favorite.
Ducks are wearing black. Ducks are wearing black this week, so we'll roll with that. I'm going to keep that up there, but I'm going to put this somewhere else.
The chrome helmet, it is.
With the feathers?
Would love for that to be Oregon's main helmet.
See, I don't like with the feathers. I don't like the feathers.
You don't like the feathers?
The feathers kind of bother me. It's a little too much. I hate them.
I like the feathers
with
the back. Ooh, on the chrome helmet, bro. It is fire. But the reason why so everybody always wonders, like, oh, why don't you wear this? And I think I've said this on a podcast before, it is budgetary matters. The chrome helmets cost twice as much to redo. And mind you, they got to get redone every time you do them.
Yeah, chrome's expensive.
Twice as much as the regular helmets do. Or it might be 3 times as much. I got to ask exactly, but it is significantly more expensive to do the chrome helmets. That's why there's no chrome helmet for this year. However, they could make an appearance depending on what happens.
Oh, look, he's like, you trying to get a little foreshadow?
I'm just saying, it just depends.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about what happened this week. The Ducks moved up to number 7 in the college football playoff rankings, basically because Bama lost to Oklahoma, which dropped Bama back behind the Ducks. It's an interesting race at this point to get into the playoffs. First question for you is this: what happened to Bama and Oklahoma and Oregon in that little mix there? Does that all make sense? Is that fair? Because there's been some whining about it. There's always some complaining, and I'm like,
see fans whining. They're whining. Oh, who is Oregon beat? Who is Texas A&M beat? Texas A&M has not played one of the 7 best. That now, granted, they do have
undefeated.
They do have the Notre Dame win, but outside of that, Aaron, they have not played any of the 7 of the highest 7 or 8 rated teams, not even rated, ranked or anything in the SEC. Nothing. They've not played any of them teams. All of them are the bottom feeder teams, except for Missouri, who just got re-ranked. And
LSU was ranked at least.
Huh?
LSU 6-4. They were ranked at one time when they played them.
So but
Missouri's 7-3 now. Come on.
Missouri has not beaten anybody of any note. They have not beaten anybody remotely. They are ranked because there's nobody else to rank right now.
Okay, but let me make one quick point though. I do believe this is a thing. If a team you beat is not ranked or is fallen off or whatever, they're like 7-3 Missouri, they're not ranked now because
Missouri
A&M
is
beat them.
ranked now. They're back at number 22, I think.
Oh, they're 22 right now. Okay, so Missouri got back up there. So you can't say that's not a quality win then. Now LSU clearly has fallen out, but when you beat them, they were 20. Now hold on before you freak out. Had LSU won that game, LSU's entire season, well, it wouldn't be that different. They'd be 7-3. They'd still be, I think they'd be ranked though. So my point is, if you beat a team and knock them out of the rankings because you beat them, that shouldn't lose its luster. That's different though than Penn State, which was 3, and now was
when you collapse their whole season.
Okay. See, that's self-serving. I don't believe many teams have lost heartbreakers early in the season and didn't fall apart. It wasn't all about Oregon.
Aaron,
to make that all about. Okay, let's not rehash that. I think that's overblown. I think that's self-serving Duck fan nonsense. But I get your point with A&M. But the bottom line is that they're undefeated,
in my
bro.
Opinion, because right now you are loud and wrong right now.
I had coffee this morning, so watch out. You know how I get when I get a little coffee in me.
Get a little coffee in me. I get a little frisky.
You get rowdy.
I can't imagine if I ever had a cup of coffee. I don't even know how that would go.
When you don't drink a lot of coffee and then you have some, woo, fires you up. All right. So I agree with you. The SEC stuff can be obnoxious, but okay. So here's the deal with this week. I think the powers that be cannot wait to drop Oregon if they lose this week, because Oregon's been hanging on by a thread because it only has that one loss and it was to number 2 Indiana, but they haven't played very many, powerhouses, or the best win is Iowa, which they barely pulled out, right? So if they lose the SC at home, Ducks are going to drop like a rock. Like I could definitely see, depending on what happens around them, I could definitely see Oregon falling to 13-14 and SC going one slot ahead of them. And then the Ducks are in trouble because you have one game. Let me finish. You have to beat Washington, and that might not be enough to get you over the hump because Washington has fallen off. Okay, now go.
Aaron, sir. There is no possible way.
Mm-hmm.
There is no possible way.
Okay.
That I mean, it's flabbergasting to me at times how you can be so incredibly wrong about the previous thing that you said and then be this right about this.
Oh, okay.
It is.
I'll take that. I'll take 50-50. Go ahead.
It is incredible because you are 100% right. They are. It's so Oregon on one hand is getting a little bit of benefit of the doubt, right?
Right.
And because like you can't help that people that you scheduled a long time ago that they're bad. Like you can't help that.
Right.
But it's funny, and the reason why people are upset about it is because it's Oregon. How many times did you hear the term? I heard Joel Klatt say it a bunch of times. I've heard Josh Pate. I've heard all these people say the words Texas and benefit of the doubt and Alabama and benefit of the doubt. So I don't feel bad about getting no benefit of the doubt because this is the way it works in college football. We just so happen to be the beneficiaries of it. But they are just sitting there waiting. They're like, ooh, if they give us an opportunity. But here's the thing. You can beat USC, and I believe Oregon would then jump Ole Miss to go to number 6. And depending on what happens, like with like the Texas A&M Texas game, if Texas wins that game, and then Oregon were some kind of way to lose to Washington, because I actually believe, here's conspiracy theory, George, in me, okay? Because I've seen it happen too many times. Washington plays this week, right?
I believe so. I'll check.
Oh, let me see.
I'll look it up. Go ahead and talk.
Okay. So the thing is Oregon, if Oregon beats USC,
Okay.
next week, for the Washington Oregon game, you will 100%, if Washington is able to get past UCLA this week, Washington will be 8-3 and they will be ranked next week. So then you get another ranked game. You see what I'm saying?
They play at UCLA, which I think could be kind of dicey, but we'll see.
Yes, it definitely will be.
Yeah.
Because they're bad on the road. And they are. And UCLA is tough at home. Like, they're much improved. They got a bunch of people who are fighting. Nico about to hop back in the transfer portal.
Is he?
Yes, bro. There's a lot of players that are hopping in the transfer portal, brother. You got Sam Levitt is probably out of Arizona State.
College football's so broken.
Because Arizona State's looking for a new quarterback right now. Like,
they already know. They already know.
Yeah. But it's like they're sick of him and he want to go somewhere else too.
It's so sad. Oregon hasn't experienced it yet, right? They haven't had a star player just bail yet, right? And they probably won't because they can afford to keep most players. But just the idea, like, let's go back. Let's say LaMichael James. Let's say LaMichael James after 2009, after replacing LeGarrette Blount, having the season he had, just left, or Marcus left, or Herbert left. Like, that would just diminish the history of the program.
Being a poverty program, though, too, like not a top tier program, because you wouldn't have like the top like a quarterback from Georgia leave Georgia, because where's he gonna go?
Right.
He's winning at Georgia. Like, where are you gonna go? Like, you're gonna take more money to go to like Northwestern? Then people are gonna be like that can hurt your whole NFL stock. So it doesn't really happen.
It's broken
the other way. And now, mind you, but let's talk about why it's broken, though. Because if you are a player, okay, it's not like the NFL where you have a good idea of what the market for yourself is, okay? Let's say you're DeMond Williams at Washington, who's making, I feel comfortable with saying, about $1.3 million this year, okay?
Unbelievable.
So would you say that he's played pretty well, Aaron?
He's good.
Okay. So now DeMond Williams up for a new contract. He's got to sign a new NIL deal toward the end of this year, before the year is over with. How much do you think that he's worth on the open market? So of course people are going to be testing it to see, even if they have no intention on leaving, they need to, like, you wouldn't be doing yourself justice if you didn't understand what the market was, right?
100%.
So there are quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers and everybody who you're going to hear names rumored in the portal, or this or that. Oh, this guy might hop in, or he is hopping in. They may not hop in. They may just be calling other schools just to see. Because let's say that Washington says, and I'm just using him as an example, like it could be Jaron Kiwi Sagapua-Telly at Cal. Hell, it could be Brock Thomas from Oregon, who you can see hop in the portal, because now he can be like, yo, I'm the backup quarterback at Oregon, and I've come in, I've played well. I want to be a starter. Somebody will pay him to be a starter, or at least compete for the starting job.
Speaking
So
of which, real quick, I actually interviewed Brock the other day. Got a feature that's going to be on Oregon Live later today, and I asked him that very question. So check it out later.
okay.
Go ahead.
So, well, I want to know what he said.
Oh, he said he has no interest in really leaving. Like we talked about the fact that okay, Oregon can go out at any point and just buy a quarterback. It never has to like worry about trying to groom someone and rebuild with a young quarterback. So him as a walk-on, you came in with Nix was there, you came in, Dylan came next, and then Dante comes next. There's no reason why after Dante's gone, they're not going to go and say, hey, we'll buy this guy, buy that guy, and then Brock never gets a chance to start.
It depends on how much they like him.
Right,
and then
which
also,
he said, but he said even if that happened, he probably would see himself staying because he loves it there. And if he's just a career backup, he's a career backup. But we'll see. We'll see. People say that, but he's already 3 years in. So.
Aaron, everybody said that. Because honestly, it's the right thing to say. And he probably means it in his heart until
someone offers him $1.5 million to come be their starter.
I don't think they would offer him 1.5. They might offer him like 700, maybe 500. He was a walk-on.
Right.
$500,000 and a scholarship sound real good. And then, especially if you win the job, now you can be like, okay, in the contract, if I'm the starter, this goes up to $1 million. So back to what I was saying. Let's say Damon Williams, Jaron Kiwi, Sagapuatelli, Sam Levitt, whoever. And Washington or Arizona State or Cal is like, yo, I got $1.3 million for it. But you want to stay at Washington, or you want to stay at Cal, you want to stay at Arizona State, you want to stay at Oregon. And then Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, whoever says, we got $3 million for you here. And then you take that to Washington or Cal or Oregon or wherever, and you say, all right, they're going to pay me $3 million. Like, I need you to, and they're like, all right, we can get you to 2.4 with what we got going, blah, blah, blah. If I am that player, I'm probably staying for 2.4 because it's familiar. I know the coaches, they believe in me, like everything. So, like, you can get discounts for players who really want to be there, but who aren't being short-sighted. But you also have to, use your leverage in negotiation. It would be silly not to. I can't hear you, Aaron.
You got me now? Sorry.
Yeah.
I cleaned this off and actually turned it off. No, I don't blame the players at all. If I'm making $800,000, $900,000, $1.3 million, and someone comes along and offers me $3 million, I have to take it. And the fans can kick rocks if they want to be mad at me. But the problem is not that. The problem is that you have this tiered system, much like baseball and your Dodgers, where it just creates an unfair imbalance, which is one of the reasons why NFL will always be king, because Green Bay can compete with LA and the New York teams because of the salary cap, the hard cap. Anyway, so I think college football needs to figure it out, because it's not good for the fans either. Why is a fan? I mean, on one hand, it's great, like Miami Hurricanes. They go out, they got Beck. Before that, they got Ward. As a Miami Hurricanes fan, yeah, it's great. They're going to always have a good quarterback because they're going to do it again. But at the same time, I miss the days where you actually recruited some guys and then developed a couple, and they grew with the program and played 3 years, not one. And so that's where it becomes a little, iffy for me. Okay. But that's just me.
Okay, so I got a question about Oregon. How would you judge how Oregon has handled their quarterback situation the last few years? Because you got
don't hate the player, hate the game, right?
Because you got Bo Nix for 2 years, which was you actually developed Bo, right?
I mean, okay.
He had a 6th round grade when he came. And right. He left as a 1st round pick. Right. And he played 2 years. Right. And then you get Dylan, who clearly you helped out his draft stock, but it was only 1 year. And now Dante, would you consider him an Oregon development, especially if he stays for next year? Because that means he would have been a part of the program for 3 years.
Of course he's being developed. Of course, most quarterbacks are going to get better as they get older. But Bo Nix had a 5th year as a starter, which you're not supposed to have. That's COVID related. Dylan, the same thing. But if not for the transfer portal and if not for NIL, although I think Bo maybe had graduated already at Auburn, so maybe he could have transferred. But anyway, if not for that COVID year, where would they have been in 23 and 24? They would have been chasing some other quarterback. So Oregon's handled it well within the construct of what we have. But to me, I'm more impressed. I had this argument at the Oregonian one day. I'm more impressed with recruiting and developing Joey, recruiting and developing Dennis, Darren Thomas, Marcus, Herbert. That is far more impressive than, I'm just going to go buy this quarterback who has a bunch of experience. That's not the knock Lanning, but it is, it's an advantage that you have.
I would actually consider Dante Moore in that category.
Right, because he struggled at UCLA.
There.
Right, yeah.
No, and he's there, and then he wanted to go start, and then he came right back.
Right.
And he's here for 3 and he's there for 3 years. That feels like recruitment and development to me, and not just
buying someone. No, I agree. I agree. I'm gonna Dante I don't throw in that category. I mean, he played 1 year at UCLA, but still, like you said, he struggled, et cetera, and that's fine. Anyway, all right, so let's get to this real quick. This is driving me nuts. All right, so as we've said, I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. Been one since the '80s, Kozar days. Doug Flutie can kick rocks. That's how far back I go. The Flutie game winner at Miami. You remember that, right?
Okay.
No, you weren't born. Were you?
I remember. I've seen it many times.
One of the greatest games ever, but it sucked if you're a Miami fan. But anyway, Miami fans are crying about the head-to-head thing with Notre Dame because Notre Dame is 9th and Miami's 13th. Miami's inching back up after losing 2 out of 3. And there's a point to be made for the head-to-head. But the problem is people have to understand that these types of rankings, when you're taking 130 teams, 130 teams, and you're trying to rank the top 25, head-to-head isn't always going to be the major factor. Now, if they're close in the rankings, it can be. But if there's a gap, and the gap was built by Notre Dame continuing to climb, winning 8 in a row, and then Miami losing those 2 out of 3, that SMU game just crushed them, knocked them way down. So you have a gap. You have to make up that gap by continuing to win, but you're running out of games. So people can cry all they want about the gap and about Notre Dame being ahead of them, but it's not just about those 2 teams. It's about the entire group of 25 and how they fit together. So the whining is just insane. Also, when Louisville, which beat Miami, went ahead of Miami for a minute, then Louisville lost the second game, and guess what? It fell back behind Miami, even though it had beaten Miami. I didn't hear any Miami fans crying about that. Now, one more thing real quick. I went to the UW Miami game in, I think, 2000, up in Seattle. Clinton Portis and that great Miami team that in 2001 won the national title. That team got trucked by the Huskies.
Yeah.
I think, right? They came back late, but they lost. It was huge. I was so pissed. I'm still, I just thinking about it just makes me, ugh. But anyway, that's 25 years ago too.
Yeah.
But from that point on, Miami just rolled. Washington lost along the way. They were upset by a pretty average team. And so eventually they passed each other, and Miami was ahead of Washington. And Washington fans were freaking out. We beat them. Yeah, but in the construct of the rankings, you lost to a scrub team, whereas Miami lost to a really good team on the road. But they lost to us. But that's what happens with the rankings. But I didn't hear Miami fans crying about that 25 years ago. The same thing's happening now. It's just how it is. The bottom line is, and this is from a Miami fan, don't lose to SMU. Just don't do it, and then you don't have a problem. But you do have a problem because you choked that game just like you did Syracuse last year at the end of the season.
And we know that the transitive property doesn't work in college football. So
exactly.
Notre Dame, doesn't it look much better? I mean, just intuitively, forget anything else. If I say you lost by 4 total points to the number 3 team in the country and
now number 13.
What are they, 14 now?
13.
13. The number 13 team in the country. You lost to those 2 teams by 4 total points.
4 points.
But the number 13 team lost to 2 teams that are currently unranked.
Unranked, exactly.
And it was more recent. So it also seems like they're trending in 2 different directions, or at least they were for a while. It's like people don't want to let common sense get in the way of their argument.
Their fandom, their homerism, which is what I deal with you twice a week.
Yes.
Did you what I said?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
You said yes. You said yes. You said
respond.
yes. No, I'm clipping that bad boy. Go ahead.
It's like if I went to. It's like if I were an alcoholic,
Okay.
and I said I've been clean for 10 years. Somebody else says I've been clean for 2 years. And I'm going like 10 weeks of Notre Dame football versus two.
Last couple of weeks. Okay.
Yes.
I'm
So I've
following.
been clean for
Sort of.
10 years or 2 years. Which one are you probably going to trust a little bit more like with their sobriety?
Oh, yeah. The guy has been sober for 10 years.
Yes, because you're like he's probably had some temptations. He's been through a little bit more, so he'll probably not that the 2-year guy can't, because he might stand strong the rest of his life. But if I had to put my money on it, it feels safer there.
Right. 100%. So and the other thing with Miami too is that they got Pitt. They got to play at Pitt in 2 weeks. That's an L waiting to happen as far as I'm concerned. Like that's a very, very losable game. So they need to just worry more. Fans need to worry more about that than worrying about where Notre Dame is right now. I do believe so. Notre Dame has remaining. Let's see, Syracuse and at Stanford. So they should win both of those games if they're in.
Yes.
I do think though, if Miami can continue winning and some teams in front of them lose, that they could get to the point where maybe they're 10-12, and then the committee says, okay, who are we going to put in? Well, Miami beat them. And then you go ahead and you switch the ranking, and all of a sudden it's 11-12. And Miami's ahead of them. You say, hey,
yes,
they have this, that could happen. But worry about that later. Win. Because you lost to SMU, which tells me you can lose at
exactly.
Pitt.
So don't get up here on your high horse talking like, oh, we're going to
rob
them.
You get robbed.
Hey, man,
anyway, now the other one is BYU. All right, BYU fans are freaking out. They think they should be ranked ahead of Oregon. They're getting jobbed. They're 9-1. What say you on that?
Okay.
And I responded to one podcast. I just said, but Oregon would truck BYU on the field. And of course, I got hammered by a couple people out there.
Here's the truth.
All right, break it down.
BYU. It's a nice story. I respect Kalani Sitake. I expected them to have 1 or 2 more losses than they have right now.
Right.
They're doing a good job. This team is also nowhere near as talented as the teams in front of them. And then when you look at when they ran into a talented football team, they literally could not compete against.
Got smoked. 29-7.
And that last touchdown was close. And here's the other thing, Aaron.
Yep.
They are continuously walking through the raindrops. This is like watching. You know who BYU fans really are right now? They are really. They're like a little bit better version of Georgia Tech right now. Georgia Tech has been skating by. Like they are skating by. BYU, yes, they drowned Portland State. Stanford's terrible. ECU 34-13. They pulled away late. 24-21 to Colorado. That's weird. They pulled away late against West Virginia. 33-27 Arizona. Utah 24-21. I think Utah's quarterback was hurt in that game. Iowa State game was kind of close too, and then you get beat. So like you're not displaying. I rank teams, Aaron, based upon what I believe are the 3 most important criteria, in no particular order because every situation is different. Right. Quality wins, schedule played, and dominance. You can't love their schedule because the only ranked team that they've played, Utah, which they beat, and Texas Tech, which beat them up super bad. So you can't go like, oh, like we're Missouri and we played 4 teams that are in the top 15. Like right. That's a little bit different story. And we played most of them close. That's a different story. BYU has not displayed a level of dominance relative to the competition that they played that you can look at it and be like, hey, I understand that their schedule hasn't set up right, but their level of dominance has been pretty impressive.
Right.
I mean, you look at Texas A&M. Their level of dominance sometimes has been good, sometimes not so much. But they're sitting there undefeated, and they're getting some credit of being in the SEC. So BYU's actually getting a lot of credit for being in the Big 12. They think the Big 12 is a really good conference. Texas Tech at 5, BYU at 11, Utah at 12. You got a shot. BYU, just don't lose to Cincinnati or UCF, which you might lose to Cincinnati. So then everybody's going to be like, see, look, we didn't pay you no attention. They got the same Miami thing. Because here's the thing, Aaron. They're ranked at number 11 right now. BYU, if you win your games, I promise you, somebody in front of you is going to lose. And you'll get in at least that little 10 spot, and then you will have everything that you hoped and dreamed for. You will get BYU versus Texas Tech for the Big 12 championship, and then you got your shot. If you lose that again, who you gonna cry to?
See, I think if USC were to win out, I think USC would leapfrog them.
They would.
That could be the thing that pushes them to 11-12, and we all know 11 and 12 has to go to ACC champ and the G6 thing, which is a whole nother story. Like that thing has to stop.
But that may not even happen necessarily if Miami keeps winning. If Miami wins out and they miraculously get into the ACC championship and win, then that's a spot back. Because I believe if they get into the ACC championship, that they can win the ACC championship. Getting in is the problem now.
Fair. All right. One other thing. I'm not gonna lie. I can't stand BYU, and I can't stand them because in 1990 Miami went to BYU and lost to Ty Detmer. That's another loss that haunts me. They lost 28-21. It was unbelievable because Miami clearly had way more talent. I give Ty Detmer credit. I actually have a friend, Nick Bodeman, who I've known forever. Actually, I coached him on the semi-pro team I was coaching for a while. He coaches down in Arizona with Ty Detmer. And when I was down there a while back visiting, I went and saw my friend. We played golf. He told me he was coaching with Ty Detmer. I said, what school? Because I want to go slash his tires. That's how bitter I still am about that loss. But that being said.
How bitter are you about the BYU Miami game?
I'm so bitter that I would slash.
You are.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to full disclosure.
That's a wrestling joke.
Gotcha. So it's just full disclosure that I do have some disdain for BYU, but I still believe what I'm saying. That, and also didn't they get a share of the national title when they played like a 6-5 Oklahoma team in a bowl game or something? The blue, I can't remember. Anyway. Yep. Oh no, wait. Oklahoma played someone else, and they played Michigan in the Blue Bonnet Bowl. I can't remember. I might be mixing up my years, but anyway. BYU, stop. You have to be more dominant with your schedule to argue against a team like Oregon. Oregon mops BYU. I think we all.
I agree.
All right. Let's get to this game. We don't leave much time.
Just thinking, I was like, damn, we haven't even talked about the USC game.
I know. Well, we talked about it a little bit in the first podcast. I think people know where we're going to go with this. Look,
good episode so far, though. I'm enjoying it.
Getting into it. All right. Let's start real quick. USC's offense against Oregon's defense. I know Oregon has the number one pass defense in the country, but they played a lot of lame quarterbacks. I think USC is going to move the ball. I think USC is going to score points because they got big play receivers. Big play receivers change everything. They can get deep. They can make yards after catch. They can make special catches. They can run. They can route people and get open in tight situations. I think USC definitely scores in the 20s. That means Oregon needs to get 30 or so to win, and they've only done that once this season in a game where they needed to. Every other win this season, they didn't need 30, not counting the overtime game. They didn't need 30 in regulation, except for Indiana, which they only scored 13 on offense. Is that going to be a challenge for Oregon? I'm going to say no, because USC's defense can be had. Notre Dame ran all over them, and their other loss who was their other loss?
Illinois.
Illinois
He
passed
ran
all over them. So
Yeah.
they can be
He threw
susceptible.
on them, ran on them. They did everything.
And Oregon can do both. Oregon can rush for 200 and throw for 300 in the same game. They could do that this week. I think it'll be more like 220 rushing, 260 passing. I think they're going to pull it out. I'm sticking with my 31-26 Oregon.
You make me nervous. Being confident in the Ducks. You actually make me nervous. This is weird.
You want to reconsider your opinion now? Wait, Fentress is a little too confident here, huh?
Jeez Louise. Absolutely. Okay. So here's the thing. Oregon, with USC's offense, this is going to come down to about 8 plays in the game, where Maava chucks the ball up, because he does chuck the ball up in some dangerous situations, and depends on Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane, particularly with the jump balls with Jacoby Lane, and then with the and with Malachi, he tries to throw the ball in shoe. I mean, like, he threads the needle on these layered throws. Like, if the wind is wrong, it's gonna get picked. And I don't know if the computer math in his brain is just and it's just perfect every single time. But when you combine better athletes, better coaching, they're going to be there a split second faster, which against Illinois, you saw a bunch of balls that just floated over the linebacker right in between the safety. He catches it and then boom, boom, boom. Now, if you're a quarter second faster, that's either a breakup or a pick. And Oregon has better players than a lot of they have better players than Iowa. They have better players than Illinois. They have better players than Notre Dame at some positions. So you have to assume that those plays are going to be the ones that make the difference. Right. Whether USC is able to pick up a 3rd and 13, convert on a 4th and 8, like, whether you're able to get stops on those particular plays, that's going to be the difference in the game. We're talking like 8 plays throughout the game. The difference in getting off the field or them getting a first down and a conversion. That's going to be the difference.
Yep.
And keeping Maava from rolling out of the pocket to his right, I cannot stress this anymore. Again. When he goes to his right, he is a threat. When he goes to his left, he is not nearly the same threat. So this Oregon team has to stop the run first and foremost. Make them one-dimensional. You can make them one-dimensional, you're going to have a shot, because the ball's going to be in the air and there are going to be plays to be made.
No, I agree with you. I think...
And that doesn't mean I think that they're going to blank USC, but I do believe that the difference in those 8 plays is the difference in it being 31-26 and a difference in it being 34-17.
Is that your score?
I'm teetering.
Okay. Let me just say that there's no way USC doesn't crack 20. I'm going to say that right now. There's no way in hell. Oregon has a good defense. It ain't that good.
I said 20 or 23. I've said all week 20 or 23. I'm thinking 34-23, 34-20, somewhere in there.
What's the weather supposed to be like?
There is a potential for some drizzlage, but not anything that is
11% rain in Portland. What's it in Eugene? I guess I better look at Eugene. Eugene, 11% chance of, I don't know what that wiggly line is.
So on Saturday, okay, so you are looking at, huh?
Is a wiggly line? Oh, foggy. That's foggy. Oh, okay.
No, yeah. No, the weather should be good.
It's gonna be a nice night. 50 degrees, no rain.
Yeah.
I might change my score then. I might bump it up to 34-27. I mean, it's gonna be more offense. But look, Oregon's gonna give up points, dude. This team can run. They got athletes. Whenever you have elite receivers and a good quarterback, you're going to make plays. So they're definitely going to move the ball. They're definitely going to score points. But I agree with you. That's going to come down to, like you said, 8 plays where I think Oregon's defense is just going to make more stops, more timely plays than I think USC's defense is going to be, because I do think Oregon's running game is just ridiculous right now. I think they're going to steamroll these guys, and Dante Moore's going to feed off of that and have a good game.
Yeah,
so
that's
I'm
going to be
going to change it to 34-27. I'm changing.
If the running game gets going early and they're just road grading them, it only gets worse as the game gets on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it starts out bad early, it's not gonna stop. It's just gonna be just like, and then those guys get hurt, they get tired, because USC's depth in their front seven, particularly in the defensive line, is the issue. And Jakeem Stewart is a young kid. He's talented, but he also, I mean, like when it's almost like when we've seen Oregon's defense have some good defensive linemen on it, but it wasn't very deep, and you're asking them to play too many plays,
right?
They can't be quite as effective because they're getting tired. They're getting leaned on. And then in the fourth quarter, they're just like, no matter how great a shape you're in, for some reason, defensive line is a position that you can't play every single snap all game.
Right.
You can play every snap at tight end for the most part. I mean, that's tough too. But you can play every snap at O-line. You can play every snap at quarterback. You can play every snap at safety. Play every snap at corner for the most part. But it's and linebacker too, but it's the D-line. Them big dudes, they get tired. They get tired of getting
leaned on and pushed back, and
double team.
They're trying to go forward while someone's trying to push you back. That's the strain on your body. Is just it's way different than running a route, right?
Yeah,
or backpedaling. Here's a stat for you, and this is one of the main reasons why I think Oregon's gonna win this game. So USC's most significant wins came against Iowa, Nebraska, and Northwestern, right? Notre Dame rushed for 300 on them. Like I said, Illinois passed for 300 on them in those 2 losses.
Yeah.
In those 3 wins, those 3 teams combined to pass for 380 yards. So they had no balance with their run game that they leaned on. So USC stopped the run, were cool. And that's what saved them against Iowa, because if Iowa could throw the football, they were efficient. Gronowski was 12-19 for 135 yards.
If Gronowski was competent passing the football,
they win that game.
Not even good. If you trade Dylan Raiola, who's an average college quarterback, for Gronowski in terms of passing ability, they win that football game probably.
But wait, hold on. But they shut him. They shut him down though. They shut him down.
Got hurt.
Oh, that's right. He had 10 for 15, 91 yards, and the backup came in through 7 passes for 7 yards.
Yeah, because Raiola is accurate on short to intermediate passes, which is the stuff he missed. He's missing wide open out routes, hitches and stuff like that are gonna move the sticks.
Right.
That's why I said Iowa with a competent quarterback would have won that game.
Would have won that, exactly. And so we all know Dante Moore is beyond competent. And like you said, you think DeCorian or Bryant's coming back this week to go along with McClellan and Malik, and then you got Kenyon and Sadiq. You said you thought one of them was coming back?
I said at least one player in a single-digit number, probably 2, will play in this football game.
At receiver?
Yeah.
Right. So that's either DeCorian or Bryant. Am I wrong?
You forgot somebody.
I did?
Yeah.
Who am I forgetting?
You have not seen him one time all season.
Oh, Evan?
We might see Evan
Stewart. Evan Stewart?
Maybe.
Might
see Evan Stewart in this game.
Might see Evan Stewart. All right, that'd be a big shock.
So that's why I say we will at least see one of those 3. At least one of them. Okay. We might see 2 of the 3. I don't think we see all 3.
But I'm gonna say this. With the way I think they're gonna run the football on SC, 2 tight ends is cool. because they get the running game going with the 2 tight ends,
Yeah.
and then you're leaking Sadiq out there, who's basically a wide receiver posing as a tight end.
Yep.
Then you're gonna create some problems.
Dude,
So yeah,
dude, there is, and I swear to God, I mean this with every single ounce of my being, Aaron. When Oregon's history, Oregon was known as fast and offense and everything else, and like that was the signature. Now they're still a very good offensive team in terms of how many points per. Like if you're around 40 points a game plus, you are a very highly efficient football team in terms of scoring points over the course of a year. There is nothing that makes me happier than to see the team be able to stop the run and actually shut people down on defense. That feels so good. And then when you can line them up and run them over on offense too and run the ball, it is. Aaron, I don't know what it is about it. It is like football beauty when you can run the football and just run people over, and then you can get stops on defense, and you don't feel like, oh my God, we got to score 50 today. When you can win scoring 18 points against a good football team, that's like the highest level of football that you when you can score 40-some 50 points, but then also you can win 18-16 if necessary. Man, it is.
Hey, I as I've said, I played wide receiver. I want to throw the ball 99% of the time. But when I was doing some coaching, when you got in situations where you could just line it up in I formation, we ran a play called lead check with me. Quarterback got to the line of scrimmage and picked the best hole on the line, called it out, coded, and we just run through people. Oh my God. I was sitting there like, what is wrong with me? This is fun. I'm a receiver. I hated the block as a receiver. Why am I loving this? But there's something machismo about it. I'm not going to lie. There's something just like gritty, gutty, manly toughness about it when you can just line up and just run people over. That's why I love tight ends. I'm telling you, George, straight up, I love me some tight ends. Because tight ends can help you with that, and then you can fire. Yep. We call it fire, why hot. Fire, tight end blocks down, comes up, over the middle, boom! So yeah, I'm with you, dude. It's fun.
If anybody wants to understand football, okay, the best way to understand how to win football games, how to win big-time football games, okay? It is the simplest explanation, because at some point in time to win big time football games, it is the Marshawn Lynch theory.
Put someone in the mouth.
You have to run through a mofo's face at some point to win big time football games, to win at the highest levels. You have to be able to, when somebody knows, hey, we're running the football. You may not know whether it's right, left, but you are 100% sure this is a running play. Hey, we're running the football. First down.
Yeah.
It worked. That is how you win football games.
It's demoralizing to a defense. Yes, demoralizing.
Yes, of course, like, cute plays, trick. They all have a passing. All of that has a place. Right. But at some point in time, you have to be able to line up and run somebody over. That's why the air raid has never won a championship, and it won't ever win. That's why the K gun didn't work. The run and shoot, like, you can have success. That's why the teams that have won, when even Alabama or Georgia has won, they were running, and they're running out of 11 personnel, which is one wide receiver, one running back, one tight end, and 3 wide receivers. It is because it is a power spread, and at some point in time, they got to line it up and run somebody else.
Well, Oregon with Mariota went to play Ohio State. Ezekiel rushes for 220 and 4 touchdowns. That's your ball game. That's your ball game.
This was good, but at the end of the day, line them up and run them over.
Line them up and run them over. And that was a defense with
When we played the
Balducci,
national championship versus
Armstead,
Auburn,
yep.
you couldn't block Nick Fairley. You couldn't line him up and run him over.
Didn't they
and
rush
when
for
it came down to it, Cam Newton was able to make just enough good plays. Like Oregon competed in the game. It's not like you can't compete, but when it comes down to it, line it up. Line it up, spread it out, run them over.
Duck fans right now are like, Dari was down. Dari was down. So
my heart.
Hold on a second, just to finish this point here. Didn't Oregon rush for under 100 yards in that game? Weren't they rushing for 3 bills a game that year? And then in the national championship against Oregon, I think they were under 100. 75 rushing, dude. LaMichael had 49.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Auburn rushed for 254. Well, with Cam throwing for 265. It was close though, because you got to give Oregon's defense credit because they stood up. They bent, but they didn't break.
Yeah.
And they kept them in it. But the bottom line is right here: 254 to 75 on the ground.
Yeah.
If you rush for 250 as Oregon, you win that game.
Easily, probably.
Yeah, exactly. But they couldn't. Like you said, they couldn't block Nick Fairley. Anyway, all right.
But I want to go back to this USC game for a second because
they
are a different team on the road and is at home. At home, they average 45.3 points per game, 27.5 on the road. They allow 19 at home, give up 25 on the road. Offensive yards per play, 8.4, down to 608. Yards per play on defense, 5.2 at home, 608 on the road. They are worse in yards per carry on offense, defense, yards per play. Completion percentage goes down from 75% to 57% on the road. Third down offense, 59% down to 43. Third down on defense, 31% at home, 45% on the road, higher than what they even get. Offensive red zone touchdown rate, defensive touchdown rate, all just crazy. And they're worse on turnovers. It is this is the Washington Huskies if you've seen it. they are Tarzan at home, Jane on the road. But USC, they are motivated. I'm telling you. And this is no secret because Oregon at this point in time is used to getting everybody's best shot. But because USC knows, and they know deep down in their heart that at this point in time in life, Oregon's a better program right now. Like they're in a better state, they're better players, like they are in the better spot. They want that. They're
not a better state, Oregon over California, a better state of affairs. Just so fans don't freak out, USC fans. What are you talking about? Just clear. Go ahead.
Yeah. I live in Cali, so So they're trying to get up there and take what they have, and Oregon knows that. They're like, we're well aware that you want this. We gotta. When you put your hand up on the ledge and try to pull your stuff up, we got to step on that hand and look at him and be like, sorry, pal, you got to go. Instead of giving him a help up, nah, bro, you got to do him like Scar in Lion King.
Oh,
where Mufasa's trying to get up and he just goes, I'm sorry.
One of the most evil moments in animation history.
Oh, and then go blame it on Lincoln, who's Simba. Then go blame it on Simba.
You ran away. That caused anyway. All right.
Dude, that honestly, that was one of the most evil moments. Like that was.
You were a kid too.
Yes, that was like
I was an adult, and I was like, "That's messed up, bro."
I hated him. I hated Scar with every ounce of my body. I wish I could have punted him off the cliff. That was one of the saddest movies.
You were like 10. You were like 10, right?
Yeah.
9, 10, somewhere in there.
Oh, I love that movie though.
Yeah, it's a great movie. All right, George, big weekend. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm excited.
I wish I could beat it. But I would be in the studio just cheering along.
Stressing.
Hey, Hey, and you know what? We will have an immediately after the game, within 20
Unafraid?
minutes after the game. Oh,
Unafraid Show will be
a
live?
stream happening. Yes.
Cool.
Live
All right.
reaction will be happening.
I'll watch that on my way home. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.